For years, students have relied on federal loans to help fund their dreams of graduate and professional school. But starting in 2026, that picture could look drastically different, leaving many to now wonder what comes next. The shift from Miami to DC hasn't been easy for everyone, but for some, the challenges have made the experience even more meaningful. Right here in Build Back Cape, Florida, volunteers are joining forces with Ocean Conservancy and Volunteer Cleanup in the celebration of International Coastal Cleanup's 40th anniversary, as well as Miami FIFA 26 being their local host. This passport event is showing visitors that Florida's impact stretches far beyond celebrating its global connections, right here in Washington. Let's check it out. Turns out there are hotter places in the summer than Miami, and Washington, D.C. is one of them. The city has been faced with an intense heat wave like no other, but it hasn't just been D.C. This intense heat wave is sweeping across the eastern and central United States. We're here at GEM headquarters where volunteers are coming together to prepare these essential kits to hopefully relieve some of the stress that Hurricane Melissa might be leaving. They're looking for canned goods and non-perishable items. The police-involved shooting happened right behind us. Neighbors tell us that they were shocked, but officers say that they were forced to open fire. That car crashed right into this tree. As you can see, the damages are still left in the trunk. We're told that the driver is left in critical condition and that the officer who saved his life is the same one he sped away from. Operation Pedro Pan was the largest recorded child refugee initiative in the Western Hemisphere. Over 14,000 unaccompanied Cuban children were sent to the U.S. between 1960 and 1962.
I hope that it reaches a lot of people because they have no clue of what's going on. And you should learn, and you should learn from what happened to us, and it's real people, and we have made it, and it's good, and we have not lost our roots, and that's what's important.
For Pedro Pan children, the exhibit is not just a tribute, but a chance to share their stories and assure future generations understand the cost of freedom.
And about these children had to leave their homes, but that they came here to the United States. What better place to tell this remarkable story than here in the nation's capital that has so many visitors from across the United States and from around the world.
Moving to a new city for months is not easy, but for these interns, they see that their curiosity and ambition of making a real difference is much more important. FIU's Joyce Faria is interning at an organization called Faith and Politics.
I got the chance to come here before, in the winter for a fellowship, and it was just a week long, but in that week, I was sure I needed to go back to Miami and start working on trying to find something here.
Joyce says that being in the political hub of the country makes everything feel real.
It's also whenever you see the news, sometimes in Miami that kind of feels very far away, oh, this decision passed in Congress, or, but here is kind of, you really feel it. You feel the weight of those decisions, and you feel why it's important. Vote and be civilly active.
A short walk away from Joyce's office is Gabby Parker, an intern from the University of Miami. She's got 2 jobs on Capitol Hill, one at the Florida House and the other one in the office of Florida Representative Brian Mast.
Other things that I do in Congress include legislative research, giving tours of the Capitol, helping respond to emails. I'd say everywhere you go in DC, you're going to be trying to network with people and trying to form relationships with people. Versus in Miami, I think every interaction is a little bit more relaxed.
Over 200 million people from across the country have felt the heat for several days now, from Utah to Michigan and Chicago to New York and even as far north as Maine. Records are broken with some areas reaching over 110 degrees. Analysts say climate change is driving more intense heat waves. Daily life here in DC is becoming a test of patience and stamina.
The heat has been really bad, obviously. We've had some crazy heat last week and this week. Last week was really bad, so this week is kind of a little bit more tamer. I actually had to get an inhaler recently because the heat has been so bad. So drinking a lot of water, staying hydrated, and trying to do mostly things inside has been best.
Even visitors are feeling the pressure. For those used to dry climates, DC's humidity adds another layer of stress, and health experts warn it increases the risk of heat-related illness.
Where I'm from particularly, it gets quite toasty, over 100, but always whenever I visit friends and family here, I have to buckle down and remember that I'm dealing with humidity too, which is a whole other hydration game, and try to time it right so I'm not out during peak hours, or I've got water with me if I do, that sort of thing.
Those who can't avoid the outdoors, like delivery drivers, staying cool is a challenge. But even as heat becomes more extreme, some locals say it's just another part of living here. We're here at Global Empowerment Mission, where volunteers have come out today to lend a helping hand to those that have been affected. And this is what Jamaica looks like just days after that Category 5 storm. Global Empowerment Mission, GEM, is one of the groups leading relief efforts.
So we've had over 1,000 volunteers since then come in, help us pack boxes of aid, hydration products, hygiene products. Also, we're getting some sandals separated because a lot of people have lost everything.
Volunteers are coming out every day to help in any way they can. They're sorting through hoodies and supplies to ship out to the islands. They're making a big difference from Miami all the way to the Caribbean. They're looking for clothing items, shoes, anything that you could bring that could help, as well as non-perishable items.